Robert Garrett self-introduction speech.
I just thought it was something funny.
I'd like to talk to y'all about confidence. President John F. Kennedy, a fellow sailor, said, "I can imagine a no more rewarding career, and any man who may be asked in this century what he did to make his life worthwhile, I think can respond with a great deal of pride and satisfaction. I served in the United States Navy." I would like to talk about confidence in the way that the Navy instilled a sense of confidence in me. And I want to explain why I take a lot of pride in that confidence. I've got a confidence in standing my ground and speaking my mind when something's not right. And I think I was shown that through my grandparents, my grandfather and my great-grandfather. When they served in World War II, and growing up, I could see that they were always very confident in the way they did things. I want to start by talking about how the Navy itself actually instilled the confidence through different types of training and through the experiences I had during the whole time I was in the Navy and serving. Through the rigorous training and hands-on experiences in my job, I gained the rank of Petty Officer Second Class a year faster than some of my fellow shipmates. Moving to that rank a little early, it kind of pushed me more because I would find myself without some of the experience to walk up and talk to a captain or a lieutenant and say, "Well, sir, this is why the plane's not going anywhere. That's why there's a problem." You know, and it was, I struggled with it, but the things that they taught me kicked in. A few of those stories come to mind. The U.S. military branches across the board, through their basic training, they start testing you, your self-esteem, your confidence, several different things from the day you step off the bus. You get off that bus and they're screaming and they're yelling at you. But I think the best confidence builder is aptly named the confidence chamber. You go into a cinder block building with no ventilation whatsoever. You have a gas mask and they take OC gas or tear gas and they crack it open in front of 4 lines of individuals wearing these gas masks with a good seal and everything's perfect. Then they let you sit in there with this tear gas and you're not affected because your canister is working and it's doing what it's supposed to do. Then they tell you, but there's only one way for you to know that that gas is actually tear gas when you've got it on. And you pull your mask up and you proceed to inhale tear gas and you start to make gagging noises and tear up and it hurts and it's bad. It's not fun. But you learn that you walked in there and you did it. You had the confidence that your gear was going to protect you. You had the confidence that they were going to you had the confidence to go in there and just do it. And that taught me a lot. I began comparing my experiences with learning things and learning my job, learning to have confidence when I spoke to a different officer or a chief petty officer, somebody that outranked me. And I started wondering, did my grandfather and my great-grandfather, did they feel that way when they were going through training? Like, I can't be the next rank up. I can't be a sergeant. I can't be a private first class. I can't do that. And then they ended up doing it and were like, I could do that, you know? I always thought that maybe I was following in their footsteps and didn't even realize it. One of the types of things that I learned through boot camp and my experiences talking to other officers and knowing what I was talking about when I was talking to them, one of my favorite stories is we were doing a FOD walk down and we're picking up trash off of the flight line so that it doesn't get sucked into an airplane's intake. And my commanding officer was about to walk through a propeller of an airplane. And you don't do that because even if they're not running, you get used to doing it and then you do it while it's moving, and that's not good. So I reached up and grabbed him by his collar and I jerked him to the ground. Explained why I did it with confidence in myself, because I knew that I just did my job. I did what I was trained to do when I was trained to do it. He called me up to his office the same day and gave me a Safety Pro, which was it's just a certificate saying you prevented a mishap. You prevented something bad. So it was proof that my confidence in what I did was taught to me by the chain of command, by what I did throughout each step of my progress in my career. The fact that I was doing this during a time of war, during the global war on terrorism, made me completely start to compare myself to those two great men that I think of as heroes, and probably the most confident and stand-up men that I have ever known in my life. They taught me, just by being them and doing their day-to-day activities, that life is an opportunity to help other people when they can't be helped, or they can't help themselves. My confidence helps me achieve that too, because I will stand up and say this is not right when something is wrong and the other person is not able to defend themselves. I saw my great-grandpa do this many times. He was a strong, amazing man, but he was of great moral character too. He one time when there was no law enforcement around in Leon County, and there was a fight right down the road from his house, him being the center of the town's, he might as well have been the patriarch of Marquay, Texas, went down there and stopped the fight himself, because that's what you do when you have good character and you know something is not right. You have the confidence to go and stop what's going on. Both of those men taught me that, and they showed it to me, and I wanted to be like that. And I think that's what influenced me to join the Navy in the first place, to try and be as good as they were. I truly believe that my military experience really did prepare me for other things and other challenges, but most of all, built my confidence up. And sometimes I forget it, but sometimes I have to sit and tell myself, you are Petty Officer Robert Garrett of the United States Navy. And I always have to remember that is something I can be proud of and say with great pride that I got my confidence by being a member of the world's finest Navy. One of my naval heroes, Captain John Paul Jones, he said, "I wish to have no connection with any ship that does not sail fast, for I intend to go into harm's way." I see that as having the most confidence in the world in yourself, your ship, and your shipmates. And I think we could all stand to have that kind of confidence just every once in a while. Thank you.